So your most comfortable position could be seated on a chair. It could be seated on the floor. It could be lying down on a bed or a couch. It's really up to you. And then just kind of move around a little bit and see what your body feels like today. Does it feel really solid? Does it feel sluggish? Does it feel really active? Does it feel creaky, like it needs some lubrication in the joints? Just take some stock without judgment, right? Because sometimes we're like, oh, I wish my body wasn't like this. We're going to try really hard to just stay with like the facts, right? Okay, my back is a little bit stiff, or my feet feel really heavy, or whatever it is. Just trying to be objective as we kind of move into the body, coming out of the head and bringing the attention into the torso, and then into the hips and into the legs and into the feet. And then I invite you to take a big breath in and an audible sigh out. And just leave anything that can wait at the door. And maybe you do a couple more of those. A big breath in, filling up completely, and let it all go. And then one more in your own time, in your own way. You can add a motion with it. You can drop the shoulders with it. You can do whatever you need to do to kind of separate the before times to what's happening now, to shake off anything that shook you and to come home into your body. And then we're going to build up a little bit of heat through a Kapalabhati breathing exercise. And so this is the breath of fire. And it's a stomach pumping breath, using the diaphragm, using the abdominal muscles to exhale forcefully, and then the inhale happens automatically. Try it. If it doesn't work for you, just focus on in, out, no worries. But if you want to try the Kapalabhati breath, we'll start, maybe you lick your lips or you swallow a little bit, because this is a mouth exhale and it can dry you out a little bit. So be mindful of that. It's nice to have your hands on the thighs and kind of sitting up a little bit tall, not like crazy rigid tall, but, elongate the spine a little bit. And we'll do 20 breaths. We'll take a little break and we'll do 20 breaths again. And again, we are using the diaphragm, forceful exhale, HA, and the inhale kind of happens automatically. And we'll take it slow at first, and the second round we'll do a little bit faster. All right, so take a cleansing breath in, a full breath out, and here we go. And end. And relax. And take stock and see, how does your head feel? Are you feeling lightheaded at all? How does your belly feel? Do you need to take a quick sip of water? Do you need to lick your lips or swallow again? And then say, was this breath for me today? Is this doing what it's supposed to do, which is, getting the blood flowing and energizing me and pumping the stale air out of the lungs and letting new air come in? And if it's not working for you, then switch it up. Do something a little bit different. If it is working for you and you want to try it a little bit faster, we'll take a cleansing breath in, a full breath out, and here we go. And relax. And swallow. And lick the lips. Or take a sip of water. And come back into your body. Maybe you feel the heartbeat racing. Maybe your breaths have expanded. Maybe they're a little deeper, a little bigger, a little longer than they were before you sat down. And we'll come into some really gentle movements, rolling the neck, seeing how that feels. in one direction and the other direction. Bring the movement into the shoulders, one forward and one back. You're just alternating and seeing how that feels. You could also do one shoulder at a time if that feels better in your body. That's fine. Or we can do one direction and then the other direction. You get to be the decider what feels good to you today. And if it's like a little more free moving, that's fine too. You don't have to do any kind of official movement. Any movement is good for the body. And then we'll bring a little bit of movement into the wrists and hands, rotating in one direction and the other direction. And if you want to intensify that, you can make fists, or you can tuck the thumbs in, and that will make the feeling in the wrist a little more intense. But if you're not looking for intenseness, keep the fingers nice and loose and open. And we'll come into the hips and do some hip circles in one direction and the other direction, kind of reaching your edge, saying, okay, where do I feel balanced? At what point do I feel less balanced? And keeping things in your control, so you don't have a feeling of, oh, I might fall, or oh, I need to focus really hard. Something that you can breathe while we are rotating and going the other direction. And maybe you want to inhale as you come forward and exhale as you come back. See if that feels good in your body. And a couple more like this. And then coming back into a comfortable seat. Again, you can tuck something behind the low back if that feels good. You can adjust the way the feet are on the floor. If you are sitting in a chair, think about the knees being about a 90-degree angle if that feels okay for you. Think about sitting up a little bit tall, closing the eyes if that feels good. And doing any other movements that you need to as we settle in. So if there's a part of your body that is demanding movement, whether it's a twist or a side bend or more in the fingers or the feet, or rolling the ankles or extending the knees, just ask your body, like, what could feel good? Because sometimes we go straight into this stillness and we demand our bodies to not move when they really needed to get some kind of kink out that would let our minds relax a little bit more. So ask your body what it wants. Try to give it to yourself and be, gentle and kind. And then you can close your eyes if that feels good. And if it doesn't, no worries. Lower the gaze, make the eyes go half closed so you can go internally. Take stock. Ask yourself, how am I today? Feel the weight of your body, the weight of your feet, the weight of your hands on the lap, the weight of your hips on what's beneath you, the weight of your head on your shoulders. You have mass, you take up space, and this is a wonderful thing. I invite you to come to the heart space and bring the breath with you. So breathing into the heart space, celebrating the mass that you take up, the space that you occupy, the physical space, the emotional space, your relations to other people, breathing into that heart space. How wonderful it is that we impact the world around us with our physical presence, with our personality, with our interactions with others, with the world. And then see if you can create a aura of goodwill for yourself and for others, but being proud in the space that you take up and the impact that you have on yourself and others, and all of the ways that you've been a helper, that you've been a confidant, that you have given back positively to the people who give to you. And see if you can take up a little more space. So either by relaxing the body or letting the chest expand or letting the hips expand or letting the toes separate. Just take up a tiny bit more space, however that feels best to you. And do a nice, slow breath count, starting at 8 and gently counting backwards, 7, 6, 5. There's no rush with this. It doesn't matter if you get to 1. It doesn't matter if you get to 1 quickly and start back at 8. We're just sinking into the body, taking up space, and how does that feel? Inhaling and exhaling and counting back. And then wherever you are, take your time. There is no rush. Inhaling slowly, exhaling fully, letting go of wherever you are in the count. Taking stock again, how does the body feel? Is there anywhere that you can send some good vibes, some breath, some invitation to relax? Maybe it's a busy mind. Maybe it's a stiff muscle. Just invite the idea that you are safe and it is okay to relax in good time. Sometimes the body and the mind doesn't want to relax when we want to relax, and that's okay too. Don't force it. If you have an intention that you are working with, something that you would like to call more of into your life, now's a great time to send it out into the universe. Let the universe conspire to help make it so. So it's nice to set these in present tense. I am relaxed. I take time to care for myself. I embrace joy, or any of myriad other intentions that you might want to call into your heart. What we look for tends to magnify. So if you have ever got a new to you car, suddenly you see that make and model everywhere. It's because we're finally paying attention. And so when we pay attention to the things that bring us joy or bring us peace or bring us calm, we can start to magnify those and to focus more on actively bringing the things that we like and the things that make us feel good into our life. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy with that. We are going to do another breathing pattern. Inhaling, and then a sharp inhale at the end, and a slow exhale through the mouth. Again, try it. If it feels good in your body, great. If it doesn't, just go back to watching the breath in and out, in and out. Inhaling fully, sharp inhale at the end, and a long, slow exhale, like you're blowing out candles or like you're blowing bubbles. Letting the belly relax, bringing the belly button towards the spine. And then inhaling to let the belly expand. A sharp inhale at the end. Sometimes we think we're filling our lungs, but there's actually much more capacity and we just haven't realized it. And then that long, slow exhale. And then one more like this. There's no rush. Inhaling fully, letting the belly expand. When you think you're full, a sharp inhale at the top to see if there's any more capacity in your lungs. And then the longest, slowest, most gentle exhale through the mouth. And then again, bringing the attention back to the body. How do you feel? Is there anything you can do to invite even more comfort? It's okay to mindfully move if it means giving your body a little more ease, finding a little space where you feel, yes, I could be here for a long time. Everything's okay. We'll come into a 5 senses meditation. So this is both internal sense and outside the wider world. So sometimes it's easy to ignore what's happening in the body, especially if we're not particular fans or it's not going the way we want. We're going to listen both to the body and to whatever's happening outside. And we'll start with the sense of touch. And so we can think of this 2 ways. First, I think the easiest of the 2 ways is to say, what is your body currently touching externally? So do you feel your hair on your neck? Do you feel your clothing touching your skin? Do you feel whatever you're sitting or laying on, the chair beneath you or the cushion beneath you? Can you feel your feet on the floor? And then secondly, how do you feel internally? Are there parts of the body that you can identify more readily? Sometimes they make themselves known because you can feel the heartbeat, or your tummy is gurgling, or there's tension or discomfort somewhere. So give yourself a little body scan and see if you can feel what's happening internally. And again, we'll try so hard to be equanimous about this, about not labeling or judging, but simply labeling as fact. And then moving from this sense of touch to a sense of taste. So we're thinking about our body internally, bring the attention to the mouth. And just note, where is the tongue? And can you move it around inside your mouth? Run it along the top teeth and the bottom teeth. Bringing the tongue to the roof of the mouth and maybe back to the soft palate. Bringing the tongue to touch the front teeth. And then letting the tongue relax in the bottom jaw, maybe separating the teeth a little bit. The tongue is a muscle. And sometimes we also need to deliberately relax it. Maybe you swallow. Can you feel it inside of your cheeks, left and right? And then is there any quality that you can discern? The taste of something? Is your mouth dry? Is it wet? And then take a breath in through the mouth and out through the nose. Moving from taste to smell. Can you feel the air on the nostrils or the tip of the nose? Does it have a particular scent? Maybe there's something in your environment that smells a certain way, but maybe there's actually something more subtle, like the temperature that you can discern as you're breathing in through the nose, the air is cooler, and as you're breathing out through the nose, the air is warmer. Can you feel the air coming all the way up into the sinuses? Can you feel the air coming all the way down into the lungs? And then can you bring to mind a favorite scent? Perhaps a favorite flower or a favorite food, maybe someone you care about's perfume. Is there a certain smell that has a memory with it that you can bring to mind? Can you imagine the qualities of that smell? And then letting that go, bringing the attention towards the ears and to the sense of hearing. And we'll start externally. Can you hear something in your environment? Likely my voice, possibly something else going on in the room where you are. Is there a small sound that's nearby? Maybe there's a sound in the greater house. Somebody's doing something somewhere else. Can you stretch your ears outside of where you are? Is there some type of sound happening outside? Traffic or animals or the wind? And maybe the answer is no, I don't hear anything, and that's fine too. And if you do hear something, notice it, but don't over-identify with it. No need to follow it or to think too deeply about it. And then we'll bring the sound attention to our own body. Are there sounds that you can hear or feel? Because all sound is vibration. Is there the sound of your own breath, perhaps, that you can hear? Can you hear or feel the heartbeat? If you swallow or adjust your jaw, can you hear that? And then I'll invite you to join me in a single Om. You can listen or you can join in. Taking a breath in and letting it go. Breathing again. And then letting go of that sense of sound and coming to our inner vision. Bring back your attention to the intention you may have set at the beginning of our time together. What does it look like to embody that? What does it look like to truly be peaceful or to truly be happy or joyful or whatever you wanted to call more into your life? And then as our time together comes to an end, bring a little bit of movement into the fingers, into the feet, maybe stretching the shoulders or the neck. And then very gently taking your time when you're ready. If your eyes are closed, you can blink open your eyes. Thanks for practicing with me today.